Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer. I'm with Brandon. And we're going to talk about Miss Marvel episode. What episode we on? Four? Three?
Three.
Yeah, three. Yeah. Yeah. So, pretty good episode right off the bat. I don't know how your initial thoughts on it.
I really liked it. I really liked how well paced it was, and I liked it displayed more of Kamala Khan's culture and more about her family. Very, very, very.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of took it kind of took the wheel, and kind of like the superhero type stuff that you're expecting kind of took a backseat, but I thought it worked.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, they're 100% doing the whole Spider-Man kind of Peter Parker vibe. It's like that she has the powers now and this and that, but now it's like it needs to become personal. You know what I mean? And this episode, the main thing kind of that was going on besides her ordeal is her brother's actual wedding, and her best friend actually got on the board of their temple, of their mosque, I believe. So she's like one of the board members now. So those are like the two biggest things. Mostly the wedding was the main thing. But the family, man. The speech the mom gave Kamala, and the speech the dad gave her brother, the son.
Or her brother,
oh
yes,
my
yes,
God.
yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like
when
so good.
When Kamala asked her mom, do you ever feel like sometimes it's just you against the world? I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that, and we've all been there, with the conversation, like you said, between her father and brother. We've kind of all been there with uncertainties of our future, and financial disaster, and just kind of feeling uneasy and uncertain. So this episode definitely spoke to me on a lot of levels.
And good.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I was just gonna say. So that's what I really, really appreciated, and even more than the kind of like the sense of wonder and kind of action that you expect out of a superhero show. I kind of found myself more invested in the family interactions than that on this particular episode. Because if there's one thing that I've kind of learned over the years, be it superhero shows, action movies, the action and fantastical elements can only take you so far if you're not invested or connecting with the characters and kind of understanding their plight. So this did a really good job of kind of pushing that further with just the characters overall, because so far it's been all about Kamala and little tidbits about the family here and there, but it really dove headfirst into that and went more in depth, which I very, very much appreciated.
Yeah. It was. This is that episode where even if like obviously, obviously they're Muslim, so but also like you can relate to the parents, caring for their daughter and their son. You can relate to just the struggle that they had, like I think she said like when you said when Kamala was like, oh, isn't you ever felt like all the weight of the world, or you versus the world? And she said when she came from India to America with her dad, with Kamala's dad, it's something that they wanted, but then once they got it, they're just like, oh wow, this is a lot to handle, but she told her, family and this and that, and they got through it. And I was just like, that's so like awesome. Like for like, an immigrant family, you can definitely directly relate to that. But even like not only is that, it's like making a decision and maybe regretting it, but kind of sticking it through and finding the good in it. So I
Yeah.
don't know, like that was such a good like little speech she gave her, and I felt the mom really felt it, like, you know, like you saying you felt it, like she felt it, because there's like when you went to go hug her and she kind of like looked down at her and saw that, like, oh, whatever it is really bothering Kamala. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So,
that
and
was so good.
you know, yeah, it's so nice to see you know, a family relationship in the MCU in such a normal, relatable way. Like very seldom have we seen that, you know,
Mhm.
and it's nice that they're going so grounded with that, and they're making, you know, it's so easy to have a you know, a mother and child or a parent and child relationship where they're like, oh, we don't understand her and we don't understand our kid and we're always going to be at odds. No, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Khan are actually actively working to be a part of their child's life and connect with her in a positive in a positive manner, in a positive way, which is what I really what I'm really enjoying about the parents on this. You know, I'm really loving watching her family as a whole. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's great that they're going um, that route with them. You know, because it's something fresh for the MCU as well. You know,
Yeah.
we've just kind of seen dysfunctional relationships, you know, like with the with Tony Stark and his dad, and you know that wasn't really resolved until Endgame, or you know Thor and you know Odin, and you know Odin was just a crap father.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm really enjoying it for that. You know, I can't stress that enough. I'm really loving that with this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's so good to see parents, and it makes sense. It's not just like, oh, it's a little whatever. It's like it makes sense that she's in high school. Even her brother, who I think
Mhm.
he's in grad school, I think they said. So, you know, he's
He
been
did
in his
men- he
20s or
did
something like
mention
that.
he was yeah, did mention that he was on his way to grad school.
Yeah. So you know, mid to early 20s ish, probably, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
he's fairly young, and the father, you know, still giving him good advice. You know what I mean? Like good, solid advice, loving advice. You know, so yeah, just seeing
Mhm.
like a mostly positive family, which is good. They
Yeah.
kind of hinted at some issues that are gonna come that already kind of started, but
Mhm.
I think it was what the like an engagement party or dress rehearsal or whatever it was before the wedding.
Mhm.
When they're all in the house, and I believe she's talking to one of the aunts, and you're like, "Oh, so bad, too bad your mom can't be here," and blah blah blah. And they were just like the
Oh
eternal
yeah.
struggle of a mother and daughter, you know. And they poked at
Mhm.
Kamala like, "Oh, you don't do that though," and she's like, "Yeah," you know, because she already knows it's gonna happen, but it's just kind of like you know there's that generational trauma, and I'm
Yeah.
so invested in that. Like, what does the grandmother know? What does the mom know? What does the great grandmother? There's so much information between the women of this family, you know, line, and I'm curious on who knows what, and
Mhm.
how much of it do they know? Like, how invested in the Bengal and are they? So it's
Definitely.
really cool.
It's definitely leaving me wanting more in that regard. You know, I wake up in the morning, man. I eat breakfast before I, you know, if I before I go to the gym or something like that. Because I'm an early bird, so it's Wednesdays, man. It's the first thing that I usually pop on. I just put on Obi-Wan first because I was a little more excited about the finale.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
but but yeah, that was yeah. It's really I'm really enjoying this show, and you know I think you know each episode I usually end it with a big smile on my face and like get hurry up next Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
dude. The dance scene at the wedding was
mm,
amazing. I don't know what about it that I enjoyed so much. It just felt
mm,
it felt like real. I get like it's just silly and this and that, but it just like we've seen TikToks of stuff like that. Maybe not of the Muslim religion and same kind of dancing, but we've seen stuff like that where they break into like a whole dance routine at a wedding. So it's not unrealistic. It's just I don't know. It just made it seem like the family was the most important thing of this show. Yeah, every decision that's gonna happen is gonna involve the family. Even the brother, I feel like his struggle, because as they were all running out of the building because the fire alarm was pulled, did you see he went and go grab the money?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's real, man. Like he has real concerns about money and financial issues, as he's getting married. So he went and grabbed the bucket of money that was gifted, to him and his wife. So as they're running because they think there's a fire, So I'm like, but those little things make it real to me, make it very relatable. That's the word I was saying. Very relatable, because I can see that happening in real life, and that dance scene though got me. I was just I had a big old smile on my face. It was so good. It was good. But yeah. Any predictions, like where you want to see it kind of go in the next couple episodes, in the next episode?
I'm wondering if, I think in some way, shape, or form, Kamala's going to go. That was her grandmother that had called her at the end of the episode, right?
Yeah.
So I think in some way or another, she's going to go visit her grandmother. I'm curious to see how she gets her mother to come with her, because I don't see there being any way that her mother wouldn't accompany her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way.
I'm curious to see where if the Jinn are gonna track her there, or what's gonna happen in that regard, because they're not gonna stop coming after her anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly gonna be those two factions, Kamala and her mother, and then the Jinn, and then potentially Cameron. How do you say his name?
Cameron?
Yeah. Him maybe trying to diffuse the situation, or kind of be like the middleman. And I'm sure Bruno, in some way, shape, or form, is gonna find himself involved as well.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really see damage control being a big part of this next episode. For all I know, they could be, but I think this is going to be more kind of centered on Kamala's family and the Jinn.
Yeah.
The
Jinn were a pretty cool thing. I mean, we got a bad guy. We got the villain of the story, which was pretty cool. They kind of had the little switcheroo, which it didn't really catch me out. At least for me, it didn't catch me off guard. I kind of knew just the way she was introduced and this and that, and and immediately is asking for a favor. So
I didn't see that coming at all.
Oh, did you? I saw it coming. I'm like, oh no, she's gonna be the bad guy. I didn't know all of them were gonna be the bad guy. But I did like how Cameron was on her side.
Same.
So I did like that. But same. Yeah, going forward, I wanna see, because they talked about a second bangle, a second bracelet kind of thing, in the flashback, which is kind of cool. And I'm kind of curious, is like, does Nani, the grandmother, does she have it, or does she know where it's at? Because she saw the vision too that Kamala saw. So I'm wondering what kind of connection there is, and
and I'm pretty sure that her summoning her granddaughter, summoning Kamala to come out there, she's got to be in possession, or at least know where the second bangle is, or know something important about it, just like you said. I don't think there's any way that she can't.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm pretty curious. I'm really excited about where it's gonna be heading in the next couple episodes. because it looks like we're going to India, which is
Yep,
cool.
we're going in.
So I think for the mom alone, because the mom, wanted to leave. She didn't really say like she wanted to leave badly, like she wanted to get the heck out of there, but she wanted to leave because she wanted to come to America. So I'm kind of curious to see how the mom feels about going, because like you said, there's no way she's gonna let her daughter go alone, and I think and Kamala is going to go one way or another, and I think the mom knows that. She's like, all right, well, I'm going with you. That's what at least I hope. If she runs away, I don't want to get too like, like, oh well, I'm running away, and that can get a little much. But I'm like pretty interested, and also I want to see more Brown Jovi. That was awesome.
yes, I would love to see more Brown Jovi.
Oh, that caught me off guard. I cracked up because this is not the first Bon Jovi reference in the show. So.
No, I was kind of curious to see if I knew Bon Jovi was going to have to factor into the wedding somehow, but I didn't expect it to be like a Muslim cover band, and they called themselves Brown Jovi, which was amazing.
That was but even the fight scene at the hotel with Kamala and the Jinn, was it 4 or 5 of them or whatever, with the Bon Jovi song playing in the background, I thought was so good because like you had this cool dance scene that was very like Bollywood-esque, with the dance moves and stuff, and then it switched to like, hey, don't forget we're in Jersey, so here's a Bon Jovi song as the fight scene happens. And I was like, that's such a good mesh of the world that she lives in, because she is a Muslim woman, practicing the religion, and with the family who also is very much involved in it, but also they're from Jersey, so of course they're gonna like Bon Jovi, and it's such a good mesh of both worlds kind of like coming together. It was so good. I laughed. Like legit laughed, and it this whole episode put a smile on my face. It was just how well done it was.
Yeah, I don't see how you could not how you could not smile, or like, am I wording it right? Yeah, I'm smiling from beginning to end.
Yeah.
If you didn't smile through at least several key parts throughout the show, like the wedding scene, like we said, or feel something with the the family interactions, I don't know what's wrong with you if you didn't, if this, if you didn't get at least some sense of emotion in that regard from this episode. So
100% agree.
Just very, very happy with it.
But cool, man. Anything else before we move on? Any parts that we might have missed? I'm trying to remember much. I watched it today. Real quick. So the flashback, the episode starts with a flashback, 1942, British controlled India, 1942. I don't know if it's in 1992. 1942. They find the great grandmother finds the bangle with the other Jinn, and she pulls it off of a severed arm. That arm was blue, and it didn't look like blue from lack of oxygen. It looked blue like Kree blue. So interesting. What do you think about that, real quick?
Yeah, and I was reading, the fan theories start, online like clockwork. So I was reading a couple, and there is speculation that it was a Kree. I was wondering if it was some kind of Inhuman potentially. I was, so my mind was kind of thumbing through a lot of possibilities as well. And in addition to that, I did like how Cameron's mother did. She name dropped clandestines, which was cool. So maybe it was a clandestine. So that's another thing I'm curious about, to kind of see just what exactly it is. You know, they already mentioned it could be you know, she did mention Jin, but I'm wondering if there's more to it than that. You know, since you know Kamala is going to be in the Marvels next year, just to kind of tie everything into one another. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd be fine with it if it were a Creed. You know, because that would tie everything. You know, things kind of back to Carol Danvers. So I'd be good with it.
Yeah, same. Same. Yeah, they also dropped the Nord dimension, which is where the Jinn are from, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited, man. This show's becoming a lot more interesting than I expected, and I am enjoying it.
Yeah. And I was kind of curious to see where they'd go with it. Like I said a while back, I was never really a Miss Marvel reader. I just, I never had a problem with the character at all. Just, I just didn't take the time out to, really read any of the comics. I've looked through a couple, and when I heard they were making it, I'm like, oh, Kamala Khan. Well, this is a good time to introduce the character, just considering where they are in the MCU. It could be cool. And I didn't. I didn't expect to, end up loving and being as invested in it as I currently am.
Yeah. Same. Exactly the same, man. So, but yeah, we're both loving it. I'm pretty sure Brian, he didn't get to watch all the episode, and rightfully so. He is on vacation, so. But I'm pretty sure, knowing how he likes kind of stuff, I think he's gonna like it too. But he'll be back next week, and we talking about the next episode of Miss Marvel. So if you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna talk about The Boys, the newest or the latest episode of The Boys. And if you're watching on replay, let us know what you thought of Miss Marvel. Are you liking it? Did you enjoy this episode? Or are you just not digging it? Let's let us know in the comments what you think.